Okay. Going to open the October 25th, 2023 Buckingham Township Board of Supervisors meeting. Okay, we're going to start with the pledge, if everybody doesn't mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you all for being here. Okay, just give me 1 second to open my. Everything. No, I'm fine. Okay, here we go. Number one, public comment. If anybody has public comment, just come up, say your name and address, please. And if anybody's raising their hand, let me know. Okay. Yep.
Chris Santarella, 3805 Lower Mountain Road, Forest Grove, PA.
In the beautiful downtown village of Forest Grove.
Absolutely.
So I have a couple of questions. Most of them are about nuisances.
Yep.
Rudy Giuliani understood in New York City that nuisances were important, and he's made his name fighting nuisance crimes. I'm pretty offended by a lot of the political signs I see out there, especially the negative ones, the ones that are put forward to make someone look bad. They don't say anything positive about my person. They're just kind of slandering other people. I realize we all have a lot to do, but is there any porn? Has there ever been any porn in our school system? I don't think there ever has been. One of the signs at Holcomb Park talks about a candidate putting porn back into our school system. If we've never had porn, then that's a lie. And it's slander. And it's slander against all of us, our school system, and all of you and all of our teachers. And I think that's bad. We shouldn't allow that. And we're not far from New Jersey. In New Jersey, I drive past a sign that says, "Fuck Joe Biden." It's a 4x6 sign on the side of the road, of a very busy road. And if it's inappropriate that we say that on the news, it's inappropriate that I say that here. How is it appropriate that somebody can put that on the side of their house? So, that's my point. Why are these people able to put these political signs up? They're offensive. And I also think there's way too many of them. Anybody have anything to say?
Yeah,
I would just tell you that
think
political speech is a very, very protected speech under the Constitution, and this township has actually been sued before for trying to regulate political speech.
I'm not asking to
So
regulate it. I
the
understand what you're
township, I mean, it's political speech.
saying. Right. So fuck Joe Biden is okay.
Under the Constitution, yes.
Why is it okay to say that on your property, that broadcasts it out to the world? And I shouldn't say it here. We can't say it in schools, we can't say it in print, and we can't say it on TV.
These are much bigger issues than this board deals with.
No,
This
no,
board
I
deals with
understand
township
that.
issues.
But I also understand that people have to stand up on a small level in order to get things done on a big level.
This board is not the Board of Elections, okay? Doesn't
Right.
enforce the election code, doesn't deal with those kind of issues. You know, and they're constitutionally protected speech.
I do want to address one thing you said when you first came up here, and that's
Right.
the reason why we have public comment, is that, you know, I view our positions as neighbor helping neighbor to the best of our ability.
I'm sorry, I have hearing aids.
Oh, it's okay. I have sight issues, so we're both good with each other. I said our position is neighbor with neighbor, right? So we're your neighbors. We're not just, we don't live in another town. So when you say nuisance are important, I would totally agree with you. What's important to you, if it's something I can help with, I'm here to listen, to at least listen, and if not help. So that I would totally agree with you. So, just because something's a nuisance to someone else and not to something else, if it's important to you, then you're a neighbor and we're here to listen.
Well, it's important to me that people don't put lies disparaging you guys and our school people on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. We have no control over that.
Right.
And our responsibility is to take care of our residents in so many ways, but political speech is not one of them. I mean, I'm not willing, because I was around when Lingenfelder sued the township.
Right.
And, you know, every penny that goes towards defending a suit like that or answering a suit like that, we're all paying for something that we have no legal control over. So, you know, number
So-
one, that the sign issue is just not within our purview.
So somebody could put a sign next to it that says, "This is a lie, whoever wrote this is ignorant."
Yes,
But that just makes us angry at each other.
I would
Yeah.
agree with you.
I mean,
I would agree with you.
yeah,
What-
I drove up there today because you and I we talked about this, and when, you know, I'm sitting up here, I'm not giving my opinion on it, personal opinion, because has nothing to do with me being a township supervisor.
Right.
And I drove up to Hollycomb Park and drove around, and, you know, there's one sign bigger than a yard sign, but they're the same as they always are at election season, and the verbiage is, I can't comment on it. I mean, there's maybe more verbiage on some of the signs than normal, but it's not within our purview.
Do we have to allow these signs
Yes.
on our property? On public property?
They're
This
in the
is
right of
Holcomb
way.
Park.
And that's, you know,
If you have a very, very specific ordinance that meets certain federal requirements, there's a bunch of federal cases on it, then you technically could say, okay, you can't have it in the right of way. I can tell you that PennDOT has rules that say you can't have it in the right of way. They
Right.
never take the signs down the right of way, because they don't wanna get sued.
Well, in this case, I believe wholeheartedly that they waited until the 11th hour to make a point so that nothing could be done of it before the election happened.
but nothing, if they'd have put them up 6 months ago, nothing could have been done.
And I'll tell you something
I
else
mean,
too.
it's protected speech,
to a
whether we
greater-
like it or not,
Right,
and I'm not even, you know how I feel about it.
yeah.
But, you know, we're just not, I mean, I won't speak for my colleagues, I'm not spending township residents' money to fight a potential lawsuit.
I understand that.
But
And
I'll tell you this,
I-
there's another thing involved here too, and let's just say it was more of a, which it's not, but let's just say it's a gray line and maybe we could. Now there's a bunch of township resources because, as you know, there's people on both sides steal political signs, and they have a right for it not to be stolen on both sides, even if you're an individual. So what they do is they call the cops, which they have a right to do, and we'd have 20 cops looking in there stealing of political signs, a full-time investigation. It's like, it's sad. So like even the stealing of signs, that is something we can look into, but the township resources to do that, unless a cop sees someone taking it down and go, dude, what are you doing? Is that your sign? Which has happened before on both
Right.
sides. It makes it very difficult. But listen, I've had political cartoons against me. I have 4 kids here, and people say really bad things, you know, that my kids hear, and it's not on signs. It's in social media. It's just, it's part of the deal, unfortunately. That's just the way
The
society
only
is.
thing I would disagree with you on is there's actually 3 sides.
Yeah.
And there's always been 3 sides. I used to be the third side. I used to be independent and moderate. And signs like this have pushed myself, and the theme at my college reunion was, we all used to be Republicans, but this verbiage has pushed us all to being Democrats. And I don't think that's their intent, but I think people need to understand that, and that there is a negative repercussions for all this.
Well,
So-
then, you know, I mean, that's the other side of signs. You know, if it annoys more people, then that's a detriment to the people who put the sign up. If it's annoying, get on the phone. You know, if you support what it says, get on the phone to your friends and get them out to vote. That's the way to deal with this
I-
kind of,
I'm
I
sure
mean,
you
it
know
sounds
I've made a number of
cliched,
phone calls.
but that's the way it is. And it's not something we as a board can deal with.
Okay. Is there any way we can stop curses from going on the road? Because I don't see us being far from that
But
on
what
either
from-
side.
I
Is
think
there
it would
one-
be,
From doing
is
what?
there one at
it's
the
the
park?
same thing.
Or you-
What?
No, he's saying
you
the
said
ad
New
buttons,
Jersey.
Fuck
so
Donald
curses,
Trump,
fuck
curse
Biden
words
signs.
on signs,
I
it's
mean,
the
that's-
same thing.
That shouldn't happen.
No, you
It's
know
still
what?
I didn't
protected
see
Yeah,
any
speech.
around here. There's too many
It's-
signs.
Yeah,
It's
but in
still
New Jersey,
protected
that's been-
speech.
They,
Yeah.
they can say that, and to me, again, if it's being broadcast off your property onto the general, if school children are driving by this, how
Sure.
can we allow that to be put up?
I would agree with that.
Agreed.
And we need to be proactive about that.
And part of it is just being part of a community, just having decency, but you can't legislate
Yeah,
for
but,
decency.
Where
but I
does
just
it-
remind
what's the
you again,
development
Supreme
where
Court is very,
Hunter's
very
Run?
protective of political speech.
Yeah,
There's
Oh,
a property
okay.
in Hunter's Run that had a giant sign on it to Chris's point, and that's in Buckingham.
Yeah, I didn't have.
And it was up there, and, you know, I don't know if they had, you know, neighborhood
There was
pressure or
also a
whatever.
sign going
But,
down the
you know,
Whitestown a
it's
couple years
just-
ago that said F Trump. I
The
mean,
guy-
both sides do it.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility and my responsibility to get out and support the candidates that we think are the right candidates. And if
Thanks for your
you,
time, I just think you all need to be aware of this, that it's out of control.
Well, I
agree.
appreciate that
I
you
agree.
it's
feel,
out of
I
control
agree.
all over the place.
I appreciate you feel comfortable enough to come here and let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I said, come to public comment.
There's any other public comment? Anybody else? Do you see anything?
Anybody else?
Okay. Okay. Board comments. Maggie? Any public comment? Any board comment?
No.
John, any board comment?
Good, thank you.
And I think I'm good too, other than I hope everybody's enjoying the fall.
There you go.
Okay, next, board announcements. Medication Take-Back Day, October 28th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Safety disposal of your unused, unneeded, or expired medications at the Buckingham Township building. For more locations, there's a flyer that's posted also on the website. And I'll just say, we always have one in the lobby of the police department. I've put stuff in there, me and my wife, so,
A container.
I'm sorry, a container, right? And it's totally secure, can't get into it. No one can put their hand in it and grab. So there's always 24/7, you can get in there, just like no. Next, Election Day, November 7th, 2023. We encourage everybody, just like
To Chris's point,
Chris's point, to vote. Okay, did you have
and there's
something?
a couple more on here, just looking way into the future.
Yeah.
The annual tree lighting is
Oh.
December 1st
Okay.
at 6 o'clock. Santa Claus comes at 6:30.
Yep.
And the blood drive on December 7th. And
Okay.
also, just FYI, and we say it all the time, but the township has discount tickets. Now, this says the aquarium and the Museum of American Revolution, and I actually went with my daughter and my grandson and availed myself. I didn't even realize it. I was just telling the staff, oh, we're going to go to the Museum of the American Revolution. And the tickets were like $10 less with the vouchers that Mary Jane has. So, good thing.
I have to say something. Speaking of the revolution, part of your house, part of Maggie's house is historic. And
It is.
didn't they come up to do the Washington shoot past your house and they wrote a diary?
According to my husband.
That's awesome. Well, I believe Steve. Board of Supervisors work session and regular business meeting will be held on November 15th and December 13th. All other November, December meeting dates have been canceled. And we usually do that every year. We move it according to the holidays. Number 3, a consideration, I make a motion, we approve payment request number 1 to Destine Company LLC for work completed on the pump station generators and upgrades. Phase 3, general contract BT-23-01 in the amount of $117,000. And as we always say, this is strictly money, water and sewer, customers, not taxpayer money.
Well, there are
I mean,
taxpayers.
they're
right?
taxpayers, but the money going
tax
to it is
Yes.
not tax money, I should say.
It's basically an enterprise fund, so, yeah.
I'll
It is an
s-
enterprise.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. B. I wonder if I can do B, C, and D together.
They're all the same.
Okay.
Two are the
Two,
same,
B
B
and
and
C.
C.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
A, B,
I'll
and
make
C.
a motion for B and C. We approve payment request number 7 and number 20 to GS Developers for work completed on the water company generator upgrades, contract BT-22-01 and BT-2104 in the amounts of $78,300 and $24,000. Do I have a motion? Second.
You have a second.
Yes,
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number D, make a motion we consider, no, I make a motion we approve payroll request weeks ending in October 8th, 2023 and October 22nd, 2023, and the bill list for the meeting of October 25th, 23. I'm just trying to see, why don't I see the numbers on here?
It's there. Okay, the total,
Yeah,
1,631,188.69.
thank you. Look, it doesn't say it on here.
No, it doesn't,
Okay.
but mine does.
I knew I had bad eyes. I didn't think they were that bad. Okay, so it wasn't on mine. Thank you. Do I have a second?
You've got it.
Oh,
Okay.
you might have to refresh.
Oh, I have to refresh.
And,
But you got a
But you're good.
You got a
Yeah.
second.
All in
Got a
favor?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Number 4, make a motion we approve draft
It's
supervisor.
all
minutes.
there.
Perfect, thank you. For September 27th, 2023, and the work session of September 27th, 2023, regular business meeting, and the October 11th, 2023 work session. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 5. I make a motion we accept departmental minutes and advisory board minutes for code enforcement monthly statistical report of September 23, and the environmental advisory commission for April 19th, 2023, May 17th, 2023, May 21st, 2023. No, sorry, I meant to say June 21st, sorry. And July 19th, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 6, make a motion we approve resolution number 2601, a resolution requesting a multi-modal transportation fund grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for Buckingham Village Transportation Improvement Project, and designating the chairman of the Board of Supervisors and the Buckingham Township Manager to execute all documents and agreements between Buckingham Township and the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to facilitate and assist the obtaining and requesting the grant. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Dana, I have a question for you.
Yes.
202.
I could be wrong. Didn't we
Yeah,
haven't we done this like a few times?
we have done this a few times.
With this particular grant, I mean.
Yes. So we applied about 4 years ago for the multimodal transportation fund through PennDOT. This grant is to pay for trails that will coordinate with the roundabout project at 202 and 263.
It is a PennDOT project.
Which is a PennDOT project, PennDOT road. So we piggybacked in there onto our trail plan, and we have in there trails that would connect it to the park, would cross over, do a crosswalk and do that to Buckingham Green, to connect where Lever Cable and all that area is, and
those
all the way up
sidewalks.
to 413 and then around there. So we did submit that to PennDOT about 4 years ago. The problem was we were not given the grant because the roundabout got delayed
Because of COVID.
because of COVID and funding. So we did go back, then we thought it was up and moving again at PennDOT. So PennDOT wasn't open. They kind of have a DCD version of this. So PennDOT didn't have the grant available. So in 2023, we then went back again, or 2021, I guess. to DCD, and then PennDOT didn't end up getting the funding for the roundabout again. So they've come back again and said they are hoping to get the funding again. Best case scenario, I think, is 2025 to go fully. They are in environmental clearances right now in that stage of the roundabout. So we thought, hey, it's time to put this grant application in again, and maybe it won't be delayed, and we will be awarded this time. If it gets delayed, unfortunately, we might be back again. But they all know it's coming. We've talked to everyone at DCD, everyone at PennDOT, and we're hoping that once the roundabout is ready to go, we will be awarded this grant. And this is now the new numbers. The total grant is our request that we're putting in. It's due in November, but before your next meeting, is for $913,208. So, I mean, it's a substantial amount of trails in that area. We have a match, as all these have matches. So we have, and we've set aside in budget numbers, this actually, we talked about it in budget, but this would be 2020, the next year's budget, 2025.
Right.
The match, which is $383,000. So that is
goes
what this is.
Goes with our other trail grants, but maybe third time's a charm with PennDOT and.
Well, if they, it might be if they
Or
get
fourth time.
if they get the roundabout, that's what's delaying it,
Right.
because you have to get this done in a certain amount of years.
And,
So
the roundabout, just so people know, it's the 202 /
202 and
263.
263.
It's that horrible intersection
yeah,
that
where it just-
when
it's a
you're
T now.
when you're coming from 313 and you want to go to Peddler's Village and you have to make a left at the T, that would be a roundabout. And that's a great place for a
202
roundabout.
and 263.
I'm sorry, I
When
meant,
you're
well,
coming down 413, not
Coming down
413.
413 from 3, well, coming down
Yeah.
202
yeah.
No, 202.
to
From
from
13.
313.
And you're going
Yes.
to Peddler's
Right.
Village and
Yeah.
you want to make a left,
The stop sign.
and
Yep.
it's dangerous. And
triangle.
unfortunately, I think that's a great place for a roundabout. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of exciting.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. So any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 7. Make a
Walsh.
motion.
Lost track.
Yep. Okay, so do I make a motion or do we just listen to it first? Make a motion first? Okay. Make a motion. We
Well,
look
no,
at.
we can.
Here.
They can come up now.
Okay, yeah.
just-
Yeah, have them
Let's
up,
see
and
them.
they can go through the waivers and the letters and.
Do you want,
For the
do I make a
plan
motion first though? Or just
No.
listen?
No,
Wait,
no.
Okay, I
wait,
didn't
listen
think
to it
so. I
first.
was like,
No,
okay.
no, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Some photos that I'm going to speak to here in a minute.
Okay.
Maybe I'll jump to the chase. It'll be photos 8, 9, and 10.
Thanks.
Would you like one? Okay.
You probably want me to have one since.
I think that's in your packet. The photo
Is
log.
it?
Okay.
Yes, photo log dated
Yes.
4/13.
Good.
23. Is that the same? Yeah, it's on there. These pictures are on here.
And then this is the waiver list that was requested and reviewed at the planning commission.
And that's in there,
Thank you.
so you have that electronically.
Thank you.
You see it?
Mm-hmm. Follow you.
Need the plans anywhere that the people can see it, or no?
If there's someone out there in the audience that's curious.
They
we
can come up and say,
come up and look at it.
Not that complicated. Should I start?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Please.
So, good evening. I'm Steve Rovner. I'm the attorney for the applicant, Thomas, or Jerry Walsh, who's here in the room today. This is regarding the property at 5087 Lower Mountain Road, which Mr. Walsh owns and is currently 5.34 acres at the intersection and on the corner of Lower Mountain Road and Holland Kong Road. This is a subdivision, I guess it's a minor subdivision plan. Mr. Walsh is trying to divide this single 5.34 acre lot into two conforming lots of 2.782 acres and 2.558 acres. He would retain, in accordance with the plan, he would retain what's known on the plan as Lot 2, and then he would subdivide off Lot 1. And I'm here today with Shahid Smith of Shahid Smith Geospatial and John Mendendorf, the fourth of Pinoni. So John will tell you about the plan, but we've been before the Planning Commission multiple times over the last couple of years through COVID, and we finally get here tonight. So hopefully everything's okay and we can get your approval.
All right, so that is ultimately, tonight we'd like to ask for final approval of the plans. There's one comment we'd like to review with the board here tonight, based on our conversation with the Planning Commission a couple months ago. First, just to familiarize everyone with the plan, as Jerry mentioned, as Steve mentioned, the existing home is here at the corner of Lower Mountain and Holly Kong, and then we're proposing the subdivision approximately down the middle of the property here in the existing condition. Again, so this just so everyone can see with the proposed condition, again, just a cleaner plan, but showing Lot 2, as Steve mentioned, with the existing home that Jerry resides in, and Lot 1 being subdivided off for possibly potential future sale. All right. So improvement-wise, we've had letters from both Knight Engineering and with Carroll. Several letters that we worked through. We've done several site visits with them. Responded to those letters. The most recent letters that came out just this past month, there's about half a dozen comments from Dan Gray, as well as just a couple comments from Carroll. All the comments there are will comply.
Okay, so Dan's letter of October 23rd, 2023, all those comments are will comply?
The comments are will comply with the exception we need to talk about the waiver for the swale. Yes, the October 23rd letter from Knight Engineering. And then the October 10th letter from Landscape Review Consultants.
All will comply.
Yes.
Except for the swell.
Well, Carol's, yeah, and we'll talk about the swale. We have submitted a waiver for the swale requirement that we'll talk about here momentarily.
Well, we've got your waiver request too, so. Do you want to go through your waiver request for the board?
Yes.
We're gonna get to the waivers now, we'll talk about the swale.
No, not at all.
Well, I assume the swale's in your waiver request or not?
It is, so with the swale, there was some discussion with the planning commission. We kind of got a no decision, and they, could go either way on it, but asked us to come here to the board to review it further. So I think,
If you want to do the swale first, do the swale first?
yeah, let's talk about the swale, because the rest, Dan's letter notes his support. Again, it was just, his comment was on what the conversation was in the way of the planning commission. So, in regards to the swale.
So wait a minute, which waiver is it on this waiver request?
It's the first one.
First one? Okay.
Is it
9A13, 9.7813.
9/7/13.
It's both under 1 and 2.
Okay.
It's road widening, road improvements, roadside swale improvements.
Okay, so with that, we're requesting the waiver in the discussion here tonight, because along Holly Kong Road, there's a couple things that, with it being a developed site already, that we feel prohibited or kind of put a hardship on the owner to put that swale in. One, there's existing vegetation along the existing, and within the existing right-of-way there today, where we've looked at, if you to put in the swale and then do out the tie-out grading, we'd be creating a larger disturbance over here, which currently isn't proposed to be disturbed. The second piece of the request for the waiver is that there's existing utility poles along the roadside there that would be, we have to grade around those with the swale. The third piece being that if a swale was put in here, ultimately it would stop at the property corner here, and then the existing condition would remain along here. So you'd have a swale coming along here, but ultimately the water would pull up, spill over into the road, and flow as it does today. Just you have it concentrated in that one location. And then, again, with that, the big thing is, we're not proposing any disturbance along here. There's no known issues today, or at least to our knowledge, about runoff alongside the road. And then with that too, with all these improvements, we are putting in a number of plantings throughout both lots, as well as stormwater management for the new lot is being proposed and recorded with the plan. So in essence, the improvements that are shown here would reduce the runoff from the site as it is.
So now, where's the house that's there now okay? I
This is
just
the
wanna make
adjoining
sure.
house here,
Right,
and then this is lot 2.
that's lot 2, that way.
This is lot 2 here, that's lot 1.
Lot,
The
okay.
existing lot becomes lot 2.
Lot 2, okay,
Right.
that's what my,
It's confusing.
Yeah.
It confuses me, but that's what it is. And the swale would run Lower Mountain Road and Holland Road. So it would put a burden on the homeowner who's only dividing it into 2 lots. Plus, this summer with the historic rains that caused issues almost everywhere, there were no issues on Holland Road or Lower Mountain Road. So to put a swale where there's nothing there right now could actually disturb the condition that's there, and the improvements are making it better to begin with. The improvements are going to decrease runoff, where if you build the swale, it's going to funnel all the water into other properties at a concentrated rate where you don't have that right now.
I don't say this to be insulting, but when you say there's no issues, how do we know that?
Well, there's the applicant's been there since 2005, he doesn't have any issues.
Okay.
I don't know of any township complaints.
I don't think there's ever been a water problem. I mean, where we live we're on a hill, so it's just, but
Right.
never.
I don't think we get this far.
yeah, no, it's not.
Right. I mean, I've been involved in this since 2020, and no one has come in, an engineer or a landscape person to say that there's an existing problem there. So,
And there is, and just to clarify, there is some drainage that hasn't been shown on the plan, on the other side of Lower Mountain Road that does divert the water, that you would think would be coming down the hill
In a good way.
and coming across the street. Yes, it captures it along Lower Mountain
Okay.
Road and sends it, either way to other culverts. So
Got it.
it's not coming from above the site, it's really just the runoff on the property, that would be conveyed in this swale. And really, the discussion we had with the planning commission was, a combination of things that I think Carol will bring up. There's some existing hemlocks in there that aren't of great character. And the question was whether the improvement to put in the township required swale, which would impact those hemlocks, was a worthwhile improvement. And I guess they asked the applicant, they did ask the applicant to kind of develop a plan to show you what those impacts were, and kind of have this discussion of whether you felt there was a need to fully regrade the right-of-way to get a swale. And again, in my opinion, primarily along Hollicong Road, to take the water that, originally we thought was coming over the road, but in looking and finding some of that drainage that's not shown on their plan, there really isn't much water coming to that point. So, again, it was something that they kicked up to you for your review.
What about future development, whatever? I mean, should maybe you get an easement or something over that, so. if
Well,
the
we'll
township
get
wants to go-
ultimate right-of-way. I think that's
Within
included.
the ultimate right-of-way.
Again, there's really not much of there's a little bit of a drainage channel that exists right along the edge of the road. But the property sits above, Hollicong Road as it goes down the bottom of the
It's
site.
steep, it's pretty steep.
Yeah, so and as they mentioned, there's really not much of an outlet for the swale. So if we created something, and started diverting water to it, there's really no place for it to go. So I think this whole exercise that they have gone through, the discovery of that additional drainage features that weren't shown on the plan, take sort of the runoff that we were thinking was getting to this point and kind of takes it away. This is really just would be managing water instead of it running right at the edge of the road, and it would be putting it into a swale. And then, so that's the question, you guys, do you want an improved swale along Hong Kong Road or not. You know, I'm
No.
initially was in favor of the swale, but I think I've kind of taken a step back from that just because there isn't much contributory drainage area. And we haven't seen problems. I personally haven't heard of anything in the years that I've been here of drainage problems along this property. We've had them other places
So-
along Long Mountain.
Are you now supporting the waiver request?
I am a little bit more supportive of the waiver request that we found the drainage improvements. That's where I am. So.
Okay.
Maggie, do you have any questions?
No. It's not Ag 1. I mean, how can you divide a 5-acre lot into two there?
Because it's less than, the 15 acres. Like or if you get over if you're over an area, you can't have you can't do the 2-acre lots, but because they were under that threshold,
Okay.
they can do the 2-acre lots.
That's why it's conforming.
Yeah, I heard
Right.
you say it was
Right.
conforming, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't taken the time to really.
So we have a
look.
maximum, if you're over so many, you have to be 5 acres and more if you're over
If you're over
15 acres
15.
and they're under that number.
So, and the other thing is, so is anyone living in the house on the corner? Are you living in there?
This is the owner here.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
there.
It was,
Since 2001.
it was Charlie Wendig's house.
Yep.
And then
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when Mr. Walsh bought it, he knocked down Charlie's farmhouse and built a cape.
Okay.
In fact, that was, whole corner was all Wendig's.
And I love to drive every day still.
Yep.
And I drive to Richborough every day and I come home, it's just a beautiful area.
Yeah.
It really is.
And you're staying there.
Oh, yeah.
John, did you have any other?
No.
So are you right around the corner from Bob Russell and Bill Mendel's house that the Conservancy owns on down Hollycomb?
Yes, he
I
is.
think, yeah,
It's
right
down-
there.
it's down by the
Then there's
power
even
lines.
more down
Mhm.
on Lower Mountain.
Yeah.
There's a couple, it's just,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
over
gonna
at Holly.
change much, that neighborhood.
It's great.
Deb, besides the waiver, the one waiver, is there anything else?
Well, there's a bunch of other waivers here. There's, you've agreed to waiver 1 and 2.
Yeah.
There's a few more waiver requests.
Would you like us to read through the waivers?
You might as well address them to the
Yeah.
board because they've got
Okay.
act on them.
It's good.
Okay. Okay, so we did 1 and 2, so then number 3, sidewalks or bicycle or pedestrian paths shall be provided along all existing and proposed streets. Is the intent of the township to accommodate safe pedestrian and bicycle access. The proposed lot is being permitted for subdivision and potential future land development. There are no sidewalks or bicycle pedestrian paths within the vicinity of the property. A waiver from this section is respectfully requested.
And I did have one requested condition. Our master trail plan recommends sharrows along this section of the township's roads, basically pointing where we want our bicyclists to go. So my suggestion is they could either make a fee in lieu of donation to that. So when we do the rest of the road, we could put the sharrows in here.
That's fine.
Send them up the hill.
Yeah, right.
I don't watch the bikes go up that hill if possible.
You're gonna be coming out with a first aid kit, that's what you're gonna be doing. We should be paying you to have first aid there.
Just a water,
Yeah, they now
water
have
station.
electric bikes.
That's already bad. Okay,
So, what kind of number are you thinking about, Dan?
A sign? What do you?
The shower, the painted markings that
painted
we put
markings
on the,
for
Yeah,
on the
on
ground.
the road.
On Lower Mountain Roads, it's wide enough to do that?
That's where our bike trails,
If I
where we
thought-
don't have the abilities to
because
put
you can't
sidewalks
adhere
and
to
bike
it.
paths,
Yeah.
we put sharrows on there.
Dan, if later on, okay, so let's say, there's this fund to do this great
The
stuff
showers.
with trails and stuff. But what if we want a different alternative to that? Can the money be used for a different alternative if we want to do signs there or something else?
If they agree to it, they can do anything. If they don't agree to it, you can't.
That's, yeah,
Okay.
that would be my answer as well, is,
So
we
what
can
was
put
the
a fee in
number?
lieu of, again, these are paint markings. I wouldn't wanna just do them exclusively here, you would wanna do them along the whole stretch.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
this part, $2,000, I mean, I'm just throwing a number out, I haven't priced it out, but, just by the time you get them in there and maintain them.
And I think at the time it would be up for discussion because my experience with bikers is they don't they don't bike along in
Exactly.
a single
No
line.
offense to bikers, but yeah.
You can't get two
And
cars
so,
down that
as-
road at the same
huh?
time.
No, I,
You can't
yeah,
get two cars down that road at the same time,
Yeah.
let alone
Well,
two bicycles.
you know what, it's the area we live in, you have to be careful and we have to be courteous to
The
one
nice thing, they
another.
ride in groups. There's
Yeah.
like, there's 30 of them that come by
I
all the
think
time.
5 is.
Let them
That's
go
fine.
by.
again, I'm,
Okay.
it's pulling a number out of,
Yeah,
you know,
I
haven't
think
looked at
that's
the
a
number.
little, I think it would go for a good cause, but I don't think, Maggie, how you go, like 500?
That's fine. I mean, I just don't see us
Well,
doing,
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
see
saying.
us
I
doing.
don't-
it.
Or you-
I don't
or-
see us
yeah.
doing it either.
I just think 2,000 is too much, so, if we're gonna do 500, just because it will go to the ultimate trails and stuff, I just, there's no reason to give that much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that agreeable?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so number 4, section 6.3B16, yes.
Give me 1 second.
Mhm.
It's gonna go to something good, no, it's gonna go to something good, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
saying,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, that's
But I
cool.
just thought it was a little too much,
Absolutely.
because do we want painted lines on that beautiful road, and it's narrow, and if it could go to something else that can
Yeah,
help the
Whatever way they
community?
decide, it's fine.
No one's gonna
That's why
pay
we would do
attention
it.
to the
No
lines,
problem.
Exactly, so, okay,
unless something
thanks,
changes in time.
correct,
Well,
okay, sorry, I didn't mean to
what
interrupt.
our job is to do is to try and look at the future a little bit.
Correct,
Okay.
that's what we're trying to do, look at the future, okay.
Okay, number 4, section 6.3, B16, and this is a request for a survey within 200 feet of the property. So we're requesting a waiver from this. We surveyed the property itself, and then pertinent information, directly around it for, necessary for the proposed subdivision. There's requests that we pick the well up on a neighboring property, to make sure we have the appropriate clearances, but we did not survey 200 feet beyond all the limits, as it wasn't necessary to do the development, or to do the plan preparation for this lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, I think adding the drainage is a review comment that they agreed to do, so that's really the extent of what I need to say.
Okay.
All right, number 5, from section 3.3 C2R, renderings of proposed building and photographs of similar construction. Again, this application was initially for the subdivision itself. The owner today isn't proposing to develop it at this time, but has gone through and complied with the SADO accordingly to provide the necessary information on the plan. So there is the house shown is merely a placeholder to prepare all the calculations and all the documentation for the township. So there is no proposed house at this time, so there's no renderings or plans associated with it, photographs.
But
So the house is a placeholder,
Well,
rent,
Yeah, no, there's no stormwater or any of that?
No, it's all on the plan.
No, it's
Okay.
all there, it's just there's no
There's no
pictures
rendering of the house,
because
like,
they
so we
haven't
don't-
Right.
picked a house.
And the
Well,
house has to,
yeah.
that house has to be there when they're ready to build, that's where the house is gonna
that,
go?
that.
Right,
Yeah,
someone's gonna
yeah,
come
yeah.
with a,
That
no
was my
one,
confusion.
Yeah, it's
Right,
all
yeah.
placed on there and that.
No,
kind
but I
of
just-
for
when
that.
you
A
use the
certain
word-
size, a certain location, a certain.
A certain location, that's
configuration.
what I
yeah,
was getting
all
at.
the,
Okay.
all the design is
Septic
there.
is in a certain place,
Got
that
it.
displace
Okay.
water and everything.
I just wanted to make sure I
There's
understood.
just no elevations.
Build no building elevation.
Who cares?
Okay.
And my, again, the only item that I would note on this, the house is set up for the correct solar orientation. And if we were to waive it would be nice to reiterate that in the condition that it meets, when it does get built, that it meets the solar orientation requirements. It is
Got
part
it.
of the plan, but it just always seems to,
So
Slip
for
through
the
the
board reference
cracks.
here, so we have a footprint here for a proposed house, and use that as the basis for all the calculations. There's a stormwater basin, septic systems. To Dan's point, the solar, I didn't bring that plan here tonight, but there's a plan that has the solar information on it about its orientation, and then all the planting associated with the improvements.
So just to avoid what we constantly go through, whoever buys that lot is gonna know that these are all the requirements that go with the lot, and that's what has to be done.
And it won't matter.
And if they,
I'm
No.
if they
just
deviate,
clarifying.
But at least it's designed.
Right.
It's fully designed.
Right, their
Yeah.
construction's conditioned on the approval of the board tonight.
I hear you.
No,
And we-
look, we'll probably, record it and everything else, but I'm just telling you experiences. People come in and go,
The person will come in and want to do completely something different. But
And that's on them.
But there's,
Not 5 years.
But the plan has been prepared to show that it will comply with our ordinances.
you
as
can build a
exist
house
today.
that can comply.
Are they escrow and stormwater improvements?
We've come to an agreement that they are going to escrow for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of Dan's comments is about the engineer's cost estimate and the escrow, so we've just been holding off tonight to make sure we had all the improvements nailed down. Like I said, there's a couple comments from Dan and Carol that will comply. So when we respond to those, we'll provide the cost estimate for it in order to move forward with the agreements and the
Well, we give
escrow.
the approval without the cost estimates, but we'll stick in the approval, but the cost estimate is gonna have to be escrow, whatever it is, the improvements.
Understood.
Well, the approval, right. But
Yes.
the agreements ultimately will
Yes.
have that number in it, yes. Right.
All right, number 6, section 923K2H. All runoff directed to an infiltration device shall first be filtered to remove sediment. Filtering devices include but are not limited to sediment retention basins, vegetative filters, sediment and grease traps in storm drain structures, and sand filtration chambers. At grade impervious runoff will be directed to flow over landscaped areas prior to entering the basin. Roof runoff is conveyed directly to the basin. A waiver from this section is requested.
We're fine. There's a sufficient filtering. It's just not a defined
Okay.
facility, so.
Got it.
All right, and then number 7 here, section 922J, grading shall only be permitted in the building envelope and for driveways and other means of access, unconventional waste water disposal systems, and stormwater facilities. The maximum width of grading for driveways shall be 15 feet. Utilities shall be placed within the area to be disturbed from driveway installation. The limit of grading shall not include tilling of the soil, plant grass, placing landscape and installation of geothermal heat and air conditioning systems. Due to location and size of septic areas, the size required for the stormwater management basin associated grading resulting from each, the basin is located within the setback to meet the SALDO requirements for the stormwater management and reduce the overall site disturbance.
And that's what's shown on the plan, Dave?
That is
Yes.
what's shown on the plan, and that's.
So it's a waiver to the extent shown on the plan.
Correct, yes.
Right.
The ordinance wants you to keep everything in the building envelope where they have the good soils for the infiltration. Just happens to be in the side building setback between the two lots. You can kind of see the
Right.
oval.
Got it.
The parking soils are in this area, so we have the 2 septic systems and the basin next to it. The basin encroaches in that setback, but that's where that's where the perk was.
And if you recall, this ordinance provision was to stop sort of that strip and build, compact everything.
Right.
They've kept everything really tight, so we're supportive of the waiver.
Okay.
That's the last waiver.
Anything from Castle Valley?
Okay.
Bucks County Planning Commission?
We do have a review from them, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's what I'm asking.
believe they were all okay. I will go through that while we're talking about Carol's,
Okay.
and make sure we don't have any.
Well, Carol's is all will comply.
Okay.
Carol, do you have any comment?
It was just a few cleanup comments really, with the plant schedule and some photographs to be incorporated into the plan set that we've requested. They're pretty straightforward.
That's the landscape architect's not here tonight, but I met with him yesterday, and there's no concern over Carol's comments. We'll address them.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Carol.
And just reviewing the Bucks County Planning Commission's review, that was a review of the initial submission, which it appears that they have addressed through their revisions, all of their comments. The only one that I would note that we kind of talked about was the master trail and bicycle plan, where they were suggesting share the road signs rather than the share.
There you go. Share the road signs.
More signs.
We're covered.
More signs,
Signs.
Make the road,
Signs.
make the road even narrow.
Right.
So you're saying that everything is.
I think it's either has been complied with. They haven't done an updated review since the
No,
initial
I get
submission.
that. So we can stick in the approval letter,
They've
it's all been
they will
complied with.
complied. I think you
Okay.
would be covered. Yes.
Got it. I
Anything
guess
else?
you're doing motion.
Motion time.
It's the end of our presentation.
Well-
Do you have any questions?
Nope. I don't.
As long as Mr. Walsh is gonna stay there.
I'll tell you
It's
what.
your condition, it's gonna be in the approval letter, you're not allowed to
How many
move.
more years I got left?
I hear ya.
Well, I better read the motion, because I have 3% battery left, so you better hope I get through it. Okay, no, I'm just joking. Okay, so hold on one second, let me, give me 1 second.
Is your,
Number 7, right?
yeah, is the intent of the board to approve it?
Mhm.
So we would approve it subject
Yep.
to the review letter of October 23rd, 2023 of
Night
Night
Engineering.
Engineering. The review letter of October 10th, 2023 of Landscape Review Consultants. On the waiver request, waivers 1 and 2 are granted. Waiver 3, there's a contribution of $500 to be made in lieu of, to
Signs
be
or
used at the
showers.
township's discretion. 4 is waivers granted. 5, the waiver is granted with a notation that solar orientation will have to be complied with in future plans. 6, the waiver is granted, and 7, the waiver is granted to the extent shown and necessary by the plan.
And what's,
Do you want the
Dana,
Bucks
what
County
about the
Planning
extension?
Commission date?
Well, it's already been done. We can stick in there Bucks County Plan and
Oh, I didn't.
Bucks County Planning
Will
Commission
comply.
to the extent that hasn't already been complied with.
Okay, and, only at the, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let me start the first part.
Well, I just tried to do it for you.
I know, but
So
I
Rick,
didn't make the motion yet.
Lori
You were,
Brown.
Just
Lori
move
Brown.
to what I
Just
just
move to-
said.
okay, I make a motion that we approve preliminary final approval of the Walsh Track minor subdivision plan dated revised October 5th, 2023, Township File SA 2019-01, tax map parcel number 06-201-053-001 at 5087 Lower Mountain Road, Lot 2, subdivision, 5.34 acres, located in the AG1 zoning district
My answer.
with, hold on, let me just see this, with an, okay,
You don't need.
okay. And I make that motion with Craig's
everything
comments
Craig
that he just said,
On the
which were,
waiver.
with the
Waiver
waivers.
Night Engineering.
Night Engineering,
October
the
23rd.
Planning Commission, Carol, and so forth, everything that Craig said, and I know you all heard it. So, do I have a second?
You got it.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I live on Lower Mountain Road, but I live right out of the village towards Swamp. So I'm a ways up.
Oh, okay.
In
At
Forest Grove.
Grove. I live
Okay.
right in the village of
Oh,
Forest
yeah.
Grove. Yeah,
I'm down there every day.
yeah. Come
Gotta go
on
to
down,
Winchester,
come
gotta
on
go to
up.
Richmond.
Well, congratulations, I hope it
Thank
goes
you.
smoothly,
Thank
and
you
the
very
battery
much.
gods were in your
Yeah, I know
favor.
you did all the work. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Okay.
Have a good night, good seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get a piece of wine or champagne.
Green champagne.
We're gonna give it away since they,
Yeah,
since
you
they
know,
lost,
Zach can give it
yeah.
away now.
Oh, the Phillies.
yes.
They lost, so
Yeah,
giving
that's
this.
all.
And we don't have to keep
Have a great night, thank you.
Good night.
emphasizing it.
Yeah. Okay, make a motion, we approve developer's request to extend the date by which the improvements are to be completed as set forth in the stormwater facility development contract to October 27th, 2024. October 27th, 2024, between Stephen Scardetto and Buckingham Township, tax map parcel 06-023-055-001. Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay, discussion.
We good?
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Number 9, make a motion, we approve developer's request to extend the date by which the improvements are to be completed as set forth. I very much apologize. Give me a second. Number 9? Okay. As set forth in the land development contract to October 27th, 2024, between Provgo, Pineville, Doylestown, LP, and Wawa Inc. and Buckingham Township for Wawa Cross Keys Township, file LD 2018-01. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Why do they need a, What's outstanding?
We're still working through with PennDOT, Doylestown Township and Doylestown Borough, the final configuration of Old Easton Road and Swamp Road. Right now, I think the agreement between all of the municipalities is for a flashing beacon to be put up, let the pedestrian push the button and light a flash at the intersection to allow the continued crossing there. So,
At
It
Old-
his stands?
right at his stance,
At-
yeah.
yeah.
So we're
The
we're,
light has been bagged.
the light has been bagged,
Yeah.
and the study of the intersection has been completed. PennDOT Safety came back and suggested that they wanted a flashing beacon there, just to get any pedestrians that do come across to go to the Wawa, Dunkin' Donuts. There aren't as many
Western
bicyclists as there used to be, but, so there was a request by them that Wawa and all the municipalities seem to have agreed, was not a bad idea. So I will be bringing, hopefully, next month, a copy of that plan for you to review and sign off on.
Okay, good.
So,
So it's pedestrian light.
And I think it's the intersection, they're moving, people are getting used to it.
it's gotten better.
And it's moving a little bit better.
Right, I think people have stopped that delay at Old
Yeah.
Easton, which was kind of
Yeah.
messing things up. And we've worked with PennDOT to extend the timing, so that's probably the most important thing. It's only at the primary peak times that you really see much delay in there anymore. So,
Okay. And the borough has no, because originally the borough had a problem with that light being removed, didn't it?
they did, but they have come back and have actually supported some other improvements, and I'm surprised that they were okay with getting rid of some of the, the lighting included, so.
That's fine.
So we're seem to be moving forward. Everyone's on board with what's been actually occurring out there. So
Good.
Okay, anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we accept developer's request to extend the date by which the improvements are to be completed as set forth in the residential development contract to October 27th, 2024 between Sarah Colominero, wait, did I say that right? Colominero, Kosinski, and Richard Kosinski and Buckingham Township for Lot 1 of the Trisecki Tract Township SA 2016-02, tax map parcel 06-006-039-011. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
this is the one subdivided lot off of the Trisecki farm, Uncle Walter's farm, along Long Lane, that takes access off of Bittersweet. They are, I'm gonna say 99% ready for their final CO, and then shortly thereafter, final closeout. So this probably, they would prefer to be in, but I think we're there. I think, were you close?
All the buffer, street tree, solar plantings are in, the only thing we're waiting on is the rain garden.
Yeah. And then we can get that at, after CO, but the CO, the final as-bills came in last week, so we should have final CO this week
Good.
for them. But we do need to close out the contract, get the NOT, for the NPDS from the Conservation District, so we do have some paperwork that'll require this extension.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 11, escrow releases. Consideration of approving escrow release number 4 from the Gary Stormwater Facility Development Contract Tax Map, 06-023-003-003 in the amount of $23,002.52. Okay,
Yes.
that threw me for a loop. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in, wait a minute.
You're right.
No,
And
no,
then the
just-
note is,
yeah.
there is $3,532 currently owed for consultant bills. And Mr. McGorry had agreed that the amount could be deducted from this release.
Yeah, good.
So shouldn't I put that in the motion? Or
Pending.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
add that to
Pending
the.
their-
Okay,
Yeah, just
so,
what I said.
so,
$3,532.
so Lori, to amend the motion a little bit, it would, that amount of $23,002.52 would be $3,532 would be subtracted from that. Okay, and do you have a second for the amended motion?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then we'll, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Okay, Make a motion, we approve escrow lease for Scardetto Property Stormwater Facility Development Contract, permit PSW 190013 at 808 Pineville Road, tax map parcel 6-23-55-1 in the amount of $14,464.90. Do I have a second?
Yes,
And there also is
second,
a,
560.
to maintain the 5,000, I guess there's $563.
64 cents.
That's currently it. I, mailing it.
Sorry.
No,
So-
it's okay, so,
So release the escrow minus what's needed for to maintain the $5,000 minimum escrow?
Mr. Scardetto,
I have an issue with that.
I know, that's why
You
I'm,
got a second?
Escrow release denied for escrow?
I didn't say anything
What?
was denied, I asked if you had any comment on
Oh,
it.
well, I have a comment on that.
Yeah,
For the $500, I don't
Five
understand why
sixty-three,
one
six-
escrow has to cover another. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like
I'm
anybody
okay if
else.
you're okay, John,
It's not like there's an outstanding bill, the bills are paid.
just do it.
Well, the contract requires that a
$4,500,
$5,000
would you have
minimum be
$4,500?
maintained,
Is that
and
okay?
that's all that's being
I
done.
think it's
Okay,
fine.
you do
That's
it.
fine.
You say it.
Yeah, that's fine, man. $500, but
If you can update it, would be great, we'll approve it as is.
I just, via email, I tried to, and via communications, I tried to get Night Engineering to respond to a question that I had. But the question was answered in a different way. I'm still trying to understand, the actual purpose or reason for the retainage. Not that it's in the contract, which was your response, but the reason why you need the retainage. There is only two things left for the project to be completed, per the plan, and that's the swale pipe and the driveway final grading. So why do we need $8,000 worth of retainage? The why. I know why you're doing it. I just want to know what it's for.
As I explained, it is a contract that I am reviewing. If you've asked the board last month if they were willing to release the retainage, they said no, so I didn't release the retainage. If you want to ask them again, the retainage is there to make sure that you complete all the work after we release all the funds. When you get done everything, make sure all the paperwork's in, you close out the project. That's why the retainage is there. There's something that's broken in your stormwater facility, that's what the money is for.
It's been there for years, nothing.
I'm not, again, we talked about this last month, you asked the board, they said no. I'm not processing something that they, in contrary to what their direction was. If you would like to ask them again,
A partial release of the retainage. There is only 4% of the project left, and the entire retainage, 15%, is being maintained.
Well, then finish the project and you don't have to drive here every month to the meeting can test whatever the process is.
I wanted to finish the project, but through multiple reviews of Night Engineering, in contrary to supplement number 15 of PennDOT, it was delayed, and a few contractors actually backed out and said they wouldn't supply me with the final pipe because Night Engineering was challenging their supplement 15 submittals. And they said, well, if they're gonna not read the supplement, we're out. That's what.
wait, so you still don't have the
Yeah.
drainage pipe at the end of your driveway?
There's pipe there, but I need additional flare and one additional pipe. Why I need 35 feet of pipe, I don't know, but one additional pipe and one flare was challenged by Night Engineering. Now that contractor doesn't want to supply because they said that if Night Engineering won't read the supplement 15.
that's not what their email said. Their email said they were bulletin 15. I
I'll send you
replied,
his- I didn't send you his email, we said.
right, and
the
I
reason why he
replied
said-
to you within a day that that we were fine with it. It was
I'm with
updated
you
on.
that, but now he says because you challenged him the first time, he doesn't want to do it.
Well.
You're not allowed to
Because-
challenge
because-
someone?
because-
I mean,
Sounds like
Mr.
he just
Scudero,
doesn't wanna do it.
see how ridiculous that engineer sounds? You can't challenge something and someone's just gonna quit. He would do the same thing to you, it sounds like, if you challenged him, I mean.
I don't know, it was right there on supplement 15 when it was submitted, it said this is a PennDOT approved pipe and flare, yet it was challenged, so that's the only reason why it's been delayed.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think,
he has, you already have a PennDOT approved pipe and flare in there.
There's no flare, the pipe is there, but not the proper length. According to the plan, I need one more pipe, and I need the flare,
And you need to lower it.
only on the one side.
The
Okay,
pipe
so
has to
you-
be, the pipe has to be
So you need
modified
pipe,
to your
flare,
profile,
and level.
right.
Well, I need to do that.
So it's
for
not
the
all, so
wall
take
I'm just
$500 out
saying that
and
the
burn
whole
the rest.
thing is,
That's-
you have to
That's what I'm saying.
reconstruct
Yeah,
it so the
John
driveway
said
can
he's
have the
okay
right
with
slope.
it.
Right,
Right.
3-1.
To
Giving them
that.
the money back?
No,
Give
non-making.
the full
Oh,
pays
yeah.
escrow without
Yeah.
500, that's fine.
That's fine.
Let's do this. The motion is to release your escrow. We don't normally do this, but we're gonna approve it without you taking out your $500, okay?
And you're gonna go get a flare and a piece of
Correct.
pipe, and I'll lend you a backhoe and then put the.
I have a
thing in.
backhoe on site.
He would too, John would, but I will say this, the other 8,000, is it 8,000? I just don't see how that
There's
happens.
$20,000 worth of contingency to cover the small amount that's left. And then there's
Get
a
it done.
50% retainage on top of it. So there's
But I think we discussed it last
$45,000
month
being
and you
held.
said you
Yeah,
wanted to
just
hold
get
the
it done.
retainage.
Yes,
But you want him to just get the project done.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
because it's
I
gonna get,
suggest just,
it's gonna get cold
get it
soon. And we're not digging in the cold.
Can you just try to get it done, Mr. Scudetto?
I'm doing everything I can, but
I know you
Okay.
are, I'm just
Do
saying.
you have all your approvals in place
for,
for the pipe?
you already said it in motion.
That's
Like,
what, but I'm saying, like,
I-
the pole,
for now,
everything is
Ricker
approved.
won't supply the pipe now, so I gotta go find somebody else that's gonna do it. I've been sending 5 emails asking them to please reconsider after your first review, and so far it's been nothing but crickets. So I'll call them again, I'll
And
send another email.
Vignini doesn't have the pipe
No, they won't do it because they're not on the PennDOT list, and they don't wanna be
for
challenged.
pipe, right, okay, you're right, for the pipe. And you can't get a letter from them. They wouldn't do the letter.
They wouldn't do the letter.
Okay. All right.
So that's the third contractor that's backed out.
It's not contractors, it's suppliers.
Suppliers, sorry,
Right.
yeah.
And are you acquiring the pipe yourself, or are you, as a
I'm trying to get it
contractor?
from-
Okay.
I'm trying to get it from Rinker through Corona.
Okay.
But
Again, sometimes contractors might have a better process to get the pipe than an individual. I'm not suggesting anything other than, if you have a contractor, maybe have the contractor reach
no,
out.
Land Tech is
Landtech won't reach out to
They're
your
out.
suppliers?
They're out.
Okay, all right.
You're up.
Just trying to find a different route for you. Because they like to supply to contractors.
So again, for all the remaining project items, there's $20,000 worth of contingency that would cover all those open items. And then 15% on top of it, so $45,000 is actually being held for like a $4,000 improvement. It just seemed awful high, and I was wondering if you could do 50% of the retainage or anything at all that would release some of that money.
And my only comment is that your current, the numbers that I have provided in which your agenda item, and I'm presuming the check is out, printed for, is based on my release. I would have to revise the release and he would be back in November. So if you would like to give him any kind of retainage reduction, it would likely need to be next month.
Let's just wait. Can you have this done by next month?
I have to find somebody that's gonna supply it. Like I said, 3 different suppliers went through this process, and all 3 of them said the exact same thing, we're out.
They're out of the
They don't wanna do it because of what review
I
comments
thought-
were.
Oh,
already.
they're
I
out.
thought you had a problem getting the pipe last month though, because the pipe wasn't available or they
No,
didn't
that
have
was the
it.
deep.
That was the head wall.
I've
That's
got
the head wall.
Altamari supplying the head wall. It's
Okay.
done, I'm
Okay.
waiting to get that delivered, but the pipe is holding it.
So, Mr. Scudetto, I would say this, Dan just brought up a good point. Even if we said, okay, let's look at something we can do for Mr. Scudetto, he'd still have to do some calculations. He can't do it tonight. Let's get through this one escrow and try to get it done. But either way, we wouldn't be able to satisfy you with the second request because he'd have to do the figures. Like, we can't just
You
pull a
wouldn't-
number out of the
Yeah,
air.
you wouldn't be getting your release today.
Yeah, we just can't just say,
Correct.
okay, we'll cut $5,000 out. He's gotta let us know. So I would say this, let's get this release done for you. Let's see if you can get it done next month. And if you're having an issue, as long as you keep Dan informed, we'll deal with that next month. But right now, we can't do your second request now, even if we wanted to, I don't have a number. So why don't we just do this we have in front of us, we're willing to not forget about, but not make the 500 part of this. We'll just,
And you'll
Okay.
get your 14.4 back
yeah, you'll get your 14.4,
in the mail.
my iPad died, I have to use my phone. So you'll get the 14,000 back with $14,464.90.
Well, I think I heard Dan say the check was already cut. Can I have it now?
It's not cut.
Sorry for
Would
that.
you supply it to me tonight so I don't have to drive up tomorrow?
No, it's not cut.
Sorry,
So
I-
you
The
can't-
check
you
is
can't
not
cut- you
cut.
Our
can't cut it
finance
tonight.
person.
Yeah, I looked
because
through it,
we're-
I didn't see it in here, that's why I was
It's not
saying
in there
checks.
because
We didn't approve
it.
it's
it.
not
Yeah.
approved. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on the agenda for tonight.
Can
No
I pick it up by
proof.
noon tomorrow?
It will be done tomorrow. It'll probably be done by noon, but I have to come in and have
I'll tell you what.
someone in
I mean,
finance
she
do it.
doesn't
I
write
can't
the
go
checks
leave
herself.
now
She
and
doesn't
go
just write you
process
out
a
a
check.
check.
I'm
So-
trying to get that check before the 31st.
Oh,
Because- No,
yeah,
I'm trying
we'll
to get
get-
that check released from the bank. They're gonna wanna put a 5-day hold on it, like they always do.
Okay.
So
Well,
if I
Yeah,
pick it up
just
tomorrow.
give,
You gotta get a better bank.
Yeah.
it will
they're
be
giving me
ready,
5%
Mr.
interest, so
Scardetta.
that's my
Oh.
purpose for bank.
It will be ready for you tomorrow. If you wanna give a call before you head up here to pick it up,
No, this is fine.
give a call
Thanks.
up and we'll get it set aside for you.
But with the banks are probably,
I-
there's a 3 o'clock cutoff, so as long as you take it here and take it to the bank.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be released by noon,
But
so I
just-
have to drive all the way back to the bank.
Yeah, so just call in the morning. I'll give it to the finance department in the morning and they'll get it ready for you. But, before you head up here, because I know you're a little far,
Do her a favor,
give us
don't
a
call
call
like,
and then,
give her till like
do that.
mid-morning at
She's
least.
gonna-
Give her
yeah,
till like
call
10,
her.
10:30.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Perfect.
Okay,
okay?
thank you very much.
No
Okay.
problem, thank you.
We'll see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
So
One
if there's
pipe?
no other
Good
discussion,
luck getting the
You just need
pipe.
one pipe.
I need one pipe and one flare, that's it.
make a
Let me see if I
motion
can
to
come up with
approve
something.
Mr. Scudetto's escrow. Oh, not a
Wait a
motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'm sorry.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Have a good night,
Thanks, bye, Mr. Scudetto. Okay,
Buckingham friends.
yeah, Buckingham Friends, oh, yeah, okay. So make a motion, we approve, oh, no, I have to go up to Friends, hold on one
Escrow
second.
release.
Yeah, an escrow release for, Buckingham Friends School Gymnasium and Science Center Project, LD 2022-01. It is for $507,877.95. Do I have a second?
You have a second with great joy.
Any discussion with this?
Yeah, let me just make a comment. They're getting this money back because they know what they have to do. They have an engineer who knows what they're doing. They have a contractor who knows what they're doing. And they're getting their escrow money back without discussion.
Yep.
Just as a comparison to what's been going on with the previous person.
Right,
So, there.
okay, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'm gonna skip manager's items for a second because I'm gonna go to the two, we're gonna approve two things tonight, or I should say, I
You
shouldn't
gotta
say-
add it
We're
to the
adding-
agenda.
We're adding,
To add
we're
it,
adding
yeah.
two things to consider to approve, but we have to make a vote to add it first.
Yes.
Okay, so give me one
not
second
gonna
just
be
to
here.
go to it. Item,
Just let John do it.
Okay, John.
You can say it.
why don't you do
Yeah,
it, John?
let John.
Make a motion to the two things we're doing, to put it on, because I usually have mine inverted, that's not inverted.
Okay, we are going to add, I move that we approve the request, oh no, I have to,
Yeah,
I move that we add the consideration of approving the request for waiver of land development submitted by the Bank of America for exterior lighting at 167 Carousel Lane, tax map parcel 6-14-53-1. Putting it on.
And you have to say why we're, you have to
I
say why
second.
we're putting it on.
Because
Because it just came in,
talked about it at the work session.
so we had a work session and she came in.
I second it.
Okay, now, I move that we approve the request for waiver of land development submitted for the Bank of America exterior lighting, 167 Carousel Lane, tax map parcel 6-14-53-1.
A second.
Any questions or comments?
No, this just for people, this just had to do with adding some security lighting. for Bank of America, and it all fits under our zoning and so forth. Okay.
Aye.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now, are we doing, is this next one?
Not the second one, but the third
Brown.
one.
Brown.
Yeah.
Do we,
You're,
are we doing Brown?
No.
No.
we're not
Brown.
doing
No.
that, right.
No, no,
We're
you
doing
have
Curvic,
it.
Curvic, right.
But,
What's that?
but you want, so all these waivers were still good, we talked about these with,
yes,
Dan.
and we're just, we're gonna modify that last one
For the amount of
for
shrubs.
the size, yeah.
For Curvic.
For how
Yeah.
many, what was the amount of trees, 300 trees to,
No, it wasn't.
It ended up
It
being
was 100.
46
31
trees.
trees and
hold on, how many trees?
And 31 shrubs.
31 shrubs,
And 46 trees.
62 shrubs is what I had
Right.
written down.
Wait, you have 31 shrubs and how many trees?
62
No, that's not.
31
I have
trees.
31 trees and 62 shrubs.
All right.
No.
Yes.
46 trees
That's
and
what it called
31
for.
shrubs.
But that's what was
what
required,
down
was
to.
46
Oh, I'm sorry.
trees,
Yes.
108 shrubs.
Yes.
We're bringing it down to 31 and 62.
Do I have a
Another
68?
number.
Do I have a
The
68?
shrubs are going to
Okay.
be of the caliber and dimension depicted on the plan.
Correct.
Okay.
The trees and the shrubs are gonna be of the caliber and dimension
Right.
depicted on the plan.
Okay, so I'm gonna move that we add this to the
Yeah.
agenda. Consideration of approving the following waivers from Buckingham Township Stormwater Ordinance as requested for the Curvac residence, PSW 220080 at 3375 Dark Hollow Road, tax map parcel 6-22-6. A waiver from the BTSO subsection 306D requiring all stormwater management facilities shall be provided with an emergency spillway or overflow device. Emergency spillway discharging over embankment fill shall be constructed of reinforced concrete checker block to protect the berm from against erosion. Second one would be a partial waiver from BTSO. Section 402-B-2 period A4 requiring a complete survey of the entire parcel. Also a waiver from BTSO 402B2B1 requiring existing resource and site analysis map. And then finally, a waiver from BTSO 301N requiring bioretention basin plantings at a ratio of 31 trees per acre and 62 shrubs per acre. The shrubs and trees should be the caliber and dimensions as shown on the plan.
I second.
Any questions or comments?
Well, we're just putting it up.
Yeah, we're putting it up, yeah. Okay, so it's on.
Oh, we got to vote. Aye.
Okay, now we put it on, now we're gonna go back. I move that we approve the following waivers from Buckingham Township Stormwater Ordinance as requested from the Curvic residents, blah, blah, blah. A waiver from, what?
Okay, and I was just gonna say, the one change was it wasn't, the ratio was.
For the trees?
For the trees and the shrubs.
Yeah.
It ended up being a total of 31 trees and 60 shrubs, not the ratio that you read a ratio off.
Oh, not per acre.
Not
No.
per acre, right?
Just
It's just
total, okay.
total 31 trees
So
and
then,
62
we're
shrubs.
just gonna strike it, that wasn't per acre, it was just total.
Mhm.
Total.
I was
Okay,
confused by my own notes.
I
I
know,
was with you.
I know. Okay, so, now the motion is for the Curvic residents, 3375 Dark Hollow Road, tax map parcel 6-22-6. And it's gonna be a waiver from BTSO requiring all stormwater management facilities shall be provided with emergency spillway or overflow device. Emergency spillway discharging over embankment fill shall be constructed of reinforced concrete checker block to protect the berm against erosion. A partial waiver from BTSO statute 402B2A4 requiring a complete survey of the entire parcel. The third one would be a waiver from BTSO section 402B2B1 requiring an existing resource and site analysis map. And finally, a waiver from BTSO section 301N requiring bioretention basin plantings at 31 trees and 62 shrubs total. Shrubs caliber and dimension will be as shown on the plan.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Perfect. And
So
now
it just wasn't a ratio, it was not approved.
thank you for doing that, and we'll make sure my iPad is charged next time. So now we have additional managers items. One is approving for payment outstanding invoices, right, Dana?
Oh, yes, Gretchen, I don't have an iPad anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. They were.
Yes, the Breccia track, that's just, we had, pulled the money and we've been working with them to just get that project done, but we do, have some bills, to pay out of that, so that's what we're asking for, we haven't done this in quite some time, and we realized that we were, running up their own bills
Do you need
against
a
that,
motion
so
for
it's
it?
$7,017.67. So we are asking you to do a motion and
Okay.
consider approving that payment of outstanding.
Great. I make a
invoices.
motion for us to pay,
No,
right, or for it to
We're
get back.
Approving a payment.
Yeah, approving a payment.
Yeah, approving a payment of an outstanding invoice owed by D'Angelo Versace Track Township SA 2006-04A in the amount of $7,017.67 to Buckingham Township. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there anything else, Dana?
I have nothing else for the business.
Yes, but we
meeting.
do-
We have some things we
Yeah.
didn't get to the work session because we had a packed work session, and
So we're
I
gonna
have
have
some
an exec
executive
meeting.
also.
We're gonna have an exec meeting in
Yes.
regards to police personnel and we also have a couple of workshop items. So I will make a motion that we end the Buckingham Township Board of Supervisors meeting of October 25th, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Ooh.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.
Have a good night.
Hey, Tom. Hang on a second.